My favorite part of this Marvel intro to a Hawkeye show is that you have to play a game of Where's Clinto to even locate him. He flashes in the M here for like half a second.
Who the fuck cares? Who was sitting here and thought, I'm having trouble finding Clint in these opening logos? No one. Absolutely no one.
Sure, they're there, but in this shot, I can't see the hind legs of this giraffe, which makes me think of how a two-legged giraffe would basically look like a really tall person without arms and with a horse face and spotted fur. But my point is, two-legged giraffe.
Jesus Christ, this is what I mean when I say that the quality of videos Cinemasins puts out have dropped very badly. There is absolutely nothing funny, satirical, or critical in this sin. It's a waste of time, and it's annoying.
Mommy said things don't just fall from the sky.
Well, pull out your Marvel reference bingo card, because you can mark off Invasion of New York on it. We're only 2 minutes in, and I'm already just a people disappeared in the blip and a free space away from calling bingo.
Oh, a whole bunch of bullshit.
This bisected narwhal. Why are all the animals in this room terrifying me?
Because you're a little bitch?
Mommy? Daddy? Where are you?
Well, she literally just said.
Okay, I'm gonna go downstairs.
So maybe start there?
Kate is a little kid in this scene, so why are you acting like she should be thinking logically right now?
Okay, so I've been working on this new impression, and this seems as good a time as any to try it out.
Generic bad guy soldiers whose abilities and shortcomings are never explained.
So it actually is kind of funny that they brought the original Jeremy's original voiceover from their Avengers video into this video, but the sin itself is still pretty dumb. I mean, are you telling me that you want them to sit down and give a lecture on the Chitauri rather than simply showing them in action?
Attempting to make Hawkeye look cool.
Hey, get that blasphemy up out of your mouth. Hawkeye is a fucking badass, and sins like this make it painfully obvious that you don't respect the Marvel comics in the slightest.
I'm still the luckiest woman in the world. Because I have the greatest little girl in the world.
And you didn't seem to like your husband very much and were weirdly jealous of the bond he and Kate had, so winning!
What the hell is this, Sin? What does the jealousy of Kate and her dad's relationship have to do with this line? Does logic not matter anymore?
We're watching Kate train in this opening, but did you see how quickly those 2 arrows hit that target? The only way she's firing off arrows that accurately and that quick at this point in her training is if someone skull matrixed archery directly into her.
My guy, this is an animated opening credit sequence. Stop acting like it should strictly be following real-world logic.
Wait, is that blood spatter? If you're getting blood spatter from a strike, you're fencing wrong.
No, that's not blood splatter. That's a breakable point. Fencers oftentimes use breakable points in order to more clearly see where their opponent was touched.
Present day. Come on, guys, we've been through this. If I watch this 40 years from now, will it take place in 2061?
Jesus Christ, I'm already losing my patience with the writers for this video. I get that this may be a joke, but that doesn't make it any less sinful. Present day refers to the present relative to the story's timeline, not the present in relation to the audience.
Get caught, you're definitely going to be kicked off the archery team.
Which brings the question, why are they on the phone right now? Kate's friends can see her up there, and them being on the phone doesn't change what she's going to do. Probably isn't anyone that will hear them talking this late at night, but why take a chance?
Do you not hear yourself when you're talking? They're using phones so that they can communicate quietly. If they weren't using phones, they'd have to yell to each other, which would attract more attention.
I know she's an expert archer and all that comes with it, but I'm still giving this a this works because, just like the Dennis Leary song says, I'm an asshole, yo-yo. What the? Setting your action series at Christmas time without Shane Black involved. Iron Man 3 wasn't that bad.
A whole bunch of bullshit. This fake-ass laugh.
We'll conquer the Chitauri.
Why is the shawarma visit even mentioned in this musical? It seems like the musical referencing the movie we saw, not the actual events as they happened in this world. You're telling me the Avengers' casual dining experience at shawarma somehow made headlines enough that it's a key punchline in this song?
Yes. I mean, think about it for half a second. After the Avengers saved the city, and by extension pretty much the whole world, because that was Loki's plan, they're pretty fucking famous. So not only would people know about the shawarma thing, but we can also safely assume that the Avengers got interviewed after the battle, where someone may have mentioned it.
This whole thing is a bit ridiculous, isn't it?
Still can't believe he was an Avenger would be excellent at TV Sins.
Okay, all of this blatant disrespect for Hawkeye is frying my brain. Throw up a solid 50 sins and move on.
I'm about to replace an irreplaceable clock tower.
But if it's irreplaceable, then how will you replace it? Do words mean nothing anymore?
This is what happens when you have millions of subscribers who think everything you say is hilarious. Newsflash, this wasn't even close to being funny.
We cannot be late, so go change. Meet us at the hotel and we'll talk there, okay?
I haven't actually told you the hotel we'll be at, but I'm sure if you get in a cab and ask for the hotel the rich people are at, they'll know exactly where to take you.
Motherfucker, do you not use your brain? They're going to a party, which means that it was a pre-planned event, which means that Kate already knew the location because it was already planned out in advance.
Christmas movie marathon.
I'm sitting Christmas movie marathons for necessitating conversations on what constitutes a Christmas movie. You know what I've decided? There's no such thing as a Christmas movie.
A whole bunch of bullshit.
It's necessary. You saved our city.
And put us in financial ruin for the next few years with all the destruction you helped cause, but we ignore that part.
Okay, the battle caused a lot of damage, sure, but the Avengers also literally saved everybody's lives, so it's safe to say that it was worth it.
It's nice of people in shows and movies to leave doors wide open when they're talking about stuff so our characters can get the info they need. It's so against human nature, yet they manage it every time.
Actually, it's really not against human nature at all. It's very realistic. People do this all the time.
So between this scene and the one at the beginning, I hope Kate's superhero name ends up being the Eavesdropper, because that is definitely a power she wields.
Why the hell is that a sin? You basically just said, Kate is really good at eavesdropping, and then sinned it as if it's actually a sin. But it's not, because it's just characterization.
Lucky for Kate, she has on the exact same suit the waitstaff is wearing at the event. How else would she accomplish the worst infiltration attempt ever?
Yeah, this is what happens when you cut episodes to shreds and leave out the context for your sins. Kate wore this outfit specifically because she knew it's what the waitstaff wears. This is yet another example of characterization.
Why don't we leave Eleanor alone, you old goat?
I don't know if Mustachio here ends up being a bad guy or not, but if he is, then here's a sin for the show making it this obvious. However, if Jack ends up not being a bad guy, then here's a sin for the show making it this obvious and not following through.
So you're sinning a red herring for being a red herring? What the fuck?
Let's go, bro.
And the director said, he's wearing a mask, so the apple's probably out, but let's have him say the word bro. It will accomplish the same thing.
And yet another example of Discount Jeremy's blatant disregard for the source material. The Tracksuit Mafia says bro as a reference to the comics they come from.
This scene only exists in case you ever wondered what the movie Cocktail would have looked like if Marvel directed it.
Discount Jeremy makes a pop culture reference that isn't a sin of the episode cliche.
It's a little late for TV, guys. I gotta pack.
But Dad, how would we get in the blatant news position without it on? Huh, Dad?
This sin made me cringe so fucking hard.
Cutting to the worst scene from Avengers Endgame. Well, except there was that scene where the Hulk was eating a lot of food, and that scene where Thor had a beer gut, and fine. Cutting to a top 10 worst scene from Avengers Endgame. Are we all ready to admit Endgame wasn't that good?
Yeah, here's another 50 sins.